Hey everyone, welcome to another random live episode from the latest conference, this one being in San Francisco with a very unique name called Bitcoin2019. And I met up with Jimmy Song, a lot of the notable Bitcoin fans, Bitcoin maximalists, we're all here. Jimmy, how are you enjoying San Francisco? You come here enough times.
Yeah, it's San Francisco, so the weather's always great, but there's a lot of poop on the streets and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan. I'm getting out of here tomorrow night. I try not to spend an extra minute in San Francisco more than I need to. So I will be leaving tomorrow night. You were judging like a lightning presentations, like
yeah. So
not
it was a
hackathon, but like
lightning pitch event is
Lightning
what
pitch.
it was called, and it was at Blockchain Capital, and there were 5 companies that presented, all pretty much Bitcoin maximalists, and they wanted to present their different ideas for different businesses. It was really great. Had a lot of people show up, and believe it or not, that was one of 5 different events that were going on last night, including a beefsteak dinner where you had to eat steak with your hands, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that was like, I was really curious to go to that, but I had this other thing. There was also the San Francisco BitDevs event. Matt Corallo spoke at that one. There's a speakers dinner, and then there was like a pre-conference party or something.
But I'm not an important enough speaker, so I'm
Well,
flying under the radar here.
but it's crazy because, like, despite there being 5 events, the lightning pitch event was absolutely crowded. And that's what we're seeing here today, is that this event is crowded. It's like, I think 2,000 people or something.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty crowded. We are like on the rooftop here. Everyone's lunchtime. So it's pretty cool. If we find interesting people to interview, we definitely will. Here comes Roman from Honey Badger Conference and Hodl Hodl Exchange, walking right by us.
But let's talk a little bit about this. So
let's talk about it. So you're seeing the you're seeing this as another sign that the bull market is here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like when people are showing up to these things, like I don't know if you remember 2014, 2015.
Oh, very well.
But every meetup was like 6 people, right? Like, and during this like down run, it was like you might get 20 people. But like right now, I'm seeing a flood of people coming into everything. And like the price action has definitely helped. We're above 11,000 now.
Wait a minute, but at a conference like this, like most of the people that are coming here, they know who we are.
Yeah.
Like there's very few people here that are like totally new to the space. It's more like, hey, I have some Bitcoin and now I have more money and now I can afford to come to San Francisco for a conference, right? Like I don't think this is the right conference to judge new influx of people coming into Bitcoin.
So here's the thing, right? Like when you have a bear market, I think you have people that sort of withdraw, and all those people that withdrew are starting to come back.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, right? But again, this was my other thing, is that like, are we getting new people into the ecosystem?
So I'm not sure you necessarily need to, because I think institutions are coming. So they're and we know Fidelity is working on this. We know a lot of other big investors are looking at this stuff. So for me, it's a good indicator that the old school people are back. They're excited about holding. If you held your conference right now, your Unconfiscatable conference, a whole lot more people would have come.
Oh yeah, well I'm the worst timer in history, right? like I'm going to be holding the next Unconfiscatable in February in Vegas. And by then I might be right about the big downturn. I'm going to hit the bottom of the damn market again.
Well, I don't know. I do feel like conferences have like a 6-month lag to price a little bit.
We had like the worst timing. Like Unconfiscatable was in January, like at the very low of prices.
Well, that was a great time to buy. I'm glad I won the Bitcoin.
Oh, Samsung, shout out! Thanks for the latest hat, buddy.
Yeah, dude, where's my hat, man?
I saw Samsung.
Samson, where the hell's my hat? All right. But yeah, it does feel like there's definitely an energy here, and you can kind of feel it, right? Like during like the bottom, you have a lot of capitulators. People are just tired of holding and they sell. I felt a lot of that near the bottom. I feel like the momentum's back. Feels like things are happening again. I know you're not quite as optimistic as I am. Make your case for me, Tom.
No. I think the price is going up too fast. None of these shitcoiners learned their lesson. They're all coming back. but they're starting to learn because Bitcoin is going up, but the shitcoins are not.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe that will teach them, and they're all going to pile into Bitcoin, so that could help. But the question I had for you was more on the developer side. What were the lightning pitches? What were some of the interesting projects?
Yeah, so hardware Lightning wallet, I think, secure.
Really?
Yeah, so this actually from a student of mine, Stefan Sneakerev.
Oh yeah.
You've interviewed him, but they're making a lot of progress on that. They're going to have a custodial service as well for like pocket money or whatever. You can still like access it and so on. There was another one that was like doing like little tasks using Lightning, so kind of like Fiverr, but with Lightning enabled. And the interesting thing was the guy's like, I didn't know a lot of this stuff, so I used my own service to have people help me and answer my questions using Lightning. So I was like, okay, if he could do that there's something about something like that. There's a few others as well, which I could get into, but yeah, that was pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, we got Open Node here, and they rigged a bunch of pinball and arcade machines with Lightning QRs, and then you just pay into it, and then you play the arcades.
Yeah.
So they have that downstairs.
Micropayments, like maybe you get an extra ball for 10 cents instead of a quarter, right? Like, I like to see something like that. But yeah, it's a very exciting space to be in. I feel like like especially having been at Breaking Bitcoin and seeing some of the presentations there, so much innovation going on. A lot of really
Breaking Bitcoin. I was there, but I couldn't make the conference.
Yeah. So it was great. I was particularly intrigued with state chains because that's a whole new scaling tech.
State chains?
State chains. So the
state or stake?
State
okay.
Chains.
So what is that?
So it's essentially the idea of taking a UTXO. So you have some amount in a UTXO, say like 0.1 Bitcoin, and transferring that directly using multi-sig. Really interesting idea. What's crazy about it is that you can open a Lightning channel using a state chain at a particular point. So the thing about a UTXO is that it's kind of like $1,000 bill or something. You can't really break it up. But using Lightning with it, you could break it up. And you could immediately onboard Lightning without an on-chain transaction because it's already existing, which means that you could have near infinite scalability using Lightning.
Oh, interesting. So you make a Bitcoin transaction and you automatically send the UTXO in through a Lightning channel.
So that's how Lightning works. But what you could do is you could transfer that UTXO continuously using state chains. And then at a certain point, if you want to break that into smaller pieces, you could use Lightning to do it. But that also means that you can onboard new people onto Lightning without an on-chain transaction. So that means you have near infinite scalability as you start using it.
Who's working on this?
Ruben Thompson. He was at the Core Dev meetup that was in Amsterdam right before Breaking Bitcoin, and he was presenting it to us. And Christian Decker, who was sitting in on the talk. One of the things that he said is if you combine this with L2, wow, like you could essentially have all sorts of Lightning stuff on top that make it so that you have all this trustlessness on top of it. The security model is different, and there's some things to be worked out.
So L2 is another layer.
L2 is like multi-state Lightning payment channels. So you could do Lightning with it, but instead of just two parties, like between me and you have a payment channel going back and forth. You could have like 4 or 5 people.
Okay.
So if you have that with state chains and other stuff,
that's great privacy as well.
Yeah, you could do some amazing, crazy stuff with very few on-chain transactions. It's a fascinating model. Now this is years away, right? Like this isn't going to happen overnight or anything. But the fact that they've thought of this is innovation that's been happening since. It's people tend to project out very linearly about Lightning. Well, like I still remember Ryan X Charles going like, well, if you have 8 billion people using Lightning channel, there's still not enough capacity using 1 megabyte block. They're not thinking of all of these other innovations that can happen on top.
I know, it's insane.
Right?
Well,
So
Ryan X Charles went crazy long ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's talking about Craig Wright being the second coming of Jesus.
Right.
So it's absolutely insane.
We're gonna start bringing more people into the stream.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Hey, Catalina.
Yeah, long time no see.
We're already live.
We're live.
Say hi, Catalina.
Hello.
Catalina, you have 2 channels. You have an English and a Spanish channel.
That's correct.
And talking about tech with Catalina.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, and I will be on your channel sometime.
Are you using my book yet or no?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I'm reading your book. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, we need the Spanish version too.
Yeah. I don't know if my publisher has a Spanish translator, but if you're interested, I'll help you.
I can help you with that for sure. We need more educational content.
Yeah, you need to lower your face a little bit because all they see are your lips.
I know, you're tall.
I am. How is it going? Are we on your channel?
We're on my channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
How's the book that you're reading so far? It is very technical, but it gives you the perspective that you need in order to compare what matters most in the crypto space.
You got to lower yourself.
There we go.
That's
This is spontaneous.
good. Yeah, I'll hold
So
it.
yeah, I recommend everyone to study the tech part. It is what gives you perspective in order to compare it is open source and what it isn't. To compare what matters most in the crypto space.
And you're going to attend his Jimmy's
workshop.
programming.
Eventually?
I will. now that the bull market is back, I will for sure. Jimmy.
Maybe I'll hold it in Uruguay when La Bitcoin Conf happens.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Are you coming to the Bitcoin?
I am.
Oh, you're
Wow.
coming this year.
I am coming.
First one.
I
didn't know
am.
that.
It's my
First
first.
LabitConf.
It is my first La Bitcoin, but I enjoy South America so much when I was in Sao Paulo.
Okay.
That I was like, I gotta go back. The South
told
American people are just so friendly.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
We'll both see you in Uruguay.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Let's do both of your courses. Tone, you should do that the same.
Bull market's back. Bull market's back. You gotta do it, buddy.
On my last stream, I was like, I'm cutting back on my workshops, but maybe I'll do one in Latin America.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Maybe I'll
Let's
do
do it.
Uruguay.
Yeah,
I'm here to
be
help.
so-
So
okay.
see you everyone. My channel, if you want to learn the tech part in Spanish, Tech con Catalina is my YouTube channel. I'll see you there. Thank you.
Thanks, Catalina.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's see who else is around. You want me to go recruit some people?
Yeah, if you're up for it, or we can.
I'll help you.
We can find someone. All right. I think they're gonna make me look at the price. So if you want to recruit some people, and I'll look at the price in between.
Oh, you want to do question and answer right now? Okay, what's your
All right, let's
question?
do Q&A.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. We have a question from Kai.
Okay.
I'm gonna come in with you.
Yeah. She's gonna be part of the talent here. Yeah.
Yeah. What's poppin', everybody? Love it, like. Hey, thanks for having
Or
me.
you can promote your YouTube channel. too.
Yeah. What's your YouTube channel? Kai.
Well, I kind of make YouTube channels for a lot of different people, but mine is Kai Primo, and it's kind of taken a bit of a. I haven't been making my own content, and that's why I stopped here because Tone always inspires me because he's always making content.
Oh,
wherever
he's
he
a
goes.
beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, that's it. In Hong Kong, everywhere he goes,
Yeah.
he'll have this thing on, and so.
Yeah, I can't do
he's a
it,
bit
but
of a
the
messenger for me.
man, he's such a beast about doing all that stuff.
He's a messenger for me. And look, I'm still a newbie, so
Uh-huh.
I'm still learning. I've focused a lot of my time on content creation, obviously, but just for the regular masses, I actually wonder if I could roll. Can you simplify Lightning?
Okay, all right. So Lightning.
You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go.
Yeah. So Lightning. All right. So simplifying Lightning. All right. Here's how I would describe it. So in a normal ledger, you have basically, like I transfer $50 to you minus 50 Jimmy plus 50 to you or whatever. But if Kai and I were doing a lot of transactions, like 50 transactions in a day, 50 different ledger entries would be very inefficient for that ledger. So instead, what we could do is we could net that out. So if after 50 transactions, it ends up that I owe Kai $10, then that's what we should have. And that's a lot easier than having 50 transactions on chain. So that's what we call a payment channel. And that's what we do equivalently. Now, if I have a payment channel with Kai and Kai has a payment channel with Tone, now I could pay Tone through both payment channels. And that's essentially what the Lightning Network is a network of payment channels that make that possible. So it's essentially compressing a lot of transactions into a single ledger entry, which in Bitcoin we call the blockchain. And instead of having 50 different transactions, we could have a single transaction that represents most of them.
Mainly just for speed.
Yeah, speed, finality, a lot of other things. But yeah, that's what makes it possible. Yeah. All right. So that was Q&A real quick, but All right.
Very cool. Let's see
Here,
if we
yeah,
can call
I'll-
somebody over.
Here, why don't you do the price? I'll get some tech people.
I was gonna ask the price. Try to find me someone interesting to ask questions. Don't worry.
Michael.
Hey,
Let's
the
see.
class is going really well, by the way.
All right.
We're having a blast going through. Taking about 3 weeks per chapter.
Okay.
But, we're teaching like you.
Okay.
Hey guys, I will take another look at the price while Jimmy finds us. So, oh, you're welcome. Oh no, I'm all right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good. Live streaming, man. How you been?
Good.
We got Michael Tidwell here.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Oh yeah, well, I don't even know how many are on. But here's the weekly chart. I talked about it a little bit this morning, and the thing is, because of the way last week closed and the way this week opened, I have to be short-term bullish here. I mean, there's no other choice. Like as a short term, I'm not selling another piece of my hodl here. I'm waiting for higher prices, and my next critical point that I'm looking at is right here, this blue line. Oh, sure. What do they got? Nothing hard. A glass of white wine would be awesome, man. Thanks. All right, I'm getting fed alcohol here, which is awesome. Hey guys, we're live streaming. So I have to be short-term bullish here. I just don't have a choice. As much as I think this is unsustainable and warrants a major pullback that I'm waiting for to take on longer positions, as a short term, I am looking at 13.3, 13.4. Hey, how are you guys? I'm looking at 13.3 and 13.4 right here. And on a daily, because the weekly is bullish. The daily is bullish, as you saw this morning. Nothing's changed. It's a 5-5, 5 on setup and 5 on countdown. And the 12-hour is bullish with only a 3. And it looks like it wants to break out higher. We just had a new swing high a few hours ago. And here's the hourly chart, the 4-hour chart. And, well, we had the swing high last night. And this is about to be toppy, right? So in 30 minutes, we are going to get a 9. Thank you so much, man. What's your name?
Logan.
Logan? Well, come on in. Have a seat, man. You got me a glass of wine, and we're going to find out what you do, my man. Give me 1 second. I want to look at the stock market. The stock market is pulling back right here. I would be careful. I would be out of the stock market short term. That is a pretty nasty fall. I did not even know that happened this morning. I don't know why. I would be out. My short-term stop loss, bullish on the S&P, would be hit, and I would wait to see what the hell this turns into. I would be careful. Is that me? Fuck. Thank you. Not be my bad.
Jesus, man, how much you hate fiat?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, the truth is out. The truth is out.
Dude, they got that wasn't on camera. I'm like live streaming here.
Fiat money.
Fuck. I talk about middle of the live stream. Let's not talk about what happened there. Let's just say like started raining $100 bills on the rooftop. God damn. Thank God very few people saw that. All right, here we go. Thank you so much for the wine.
No problem.
Yep, just flip that on. I got it. It's more fun when let me not get myself in trouble. Yeah. All right, cool.
I've been checking.
Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do.
My name is Logan, and
Hold on, let me stop screen share. All right, and here we go. Let's go, Logan.
My name is Logan, and I just trade full time, and then also try to teach people about Bitcoin, and especially people. I was living in some island nations for a while, so trying to help them to avoid remittance payments. This one island I was on particularly had a 15% fee for every $100.
Wow.
And they also don't use banks from the U.S. because it's a former territory, so it's under the Hawaiian banking laws. So they only have Bank of Hawaii, Bank of Guam, which creates more restrictions, and then Western Union. So really only 3 ways to transfer money.
So where are you based? Are you a nomad
right now, San Francisco mostly.
You're living in San Francisco and you don't have an office, and you're living here by choice.
I just work from home. So I just trade. So all I need is computer, internet, and I'm good to go.
Gosh, how long have you been trading?
About 2 years full time.
2 years full time.
Yeah.
So crypto got you into trading.
Yes, ever since I got Bitcoin first in 2012, and then once it hit 500, then I thought to myself, okay, I should learn about this so I can protect myself. And then just dove deeper into it. So.
How long have you been watching my channel?
Man, since the scam reports.
Oh yeah, the crypto scams. Oh, I gotta bring those back. So
yeah, trying to read through every white paper and go through all the BS was like took so much time, you know.
So what do you do now? Do you pay attention to the fundamentals, or you don't? You're a TA trader.
Mostly TA, but there's some projects I won't even trade TA wise because their fundamentals are so bad that I just avoid it, even if the setup looks good and it's a high probability trade.
Are there any altcoins? Are there any altcoins that you think have a chance long term?
Well, there's like obsession with Ethereum, especially from all these Silicon Valley
I think
guys.
that obsession is ending. Yeah. Like within the crypto space, it's ending. Now it's coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
But people inside crypto, I think, are finally realizing.
But all the hype around like Maker, DAI, and using that and smart contracts for finance, that seems to be getting some momentum around it there. But for me, it's just Bitcoin. Everything else I'm trading, I get out as soon as the trade's done.
How's your trading going? Good?
Yeah, it's easy to trade, or it's easier to trade during these FOMO-driven times.
What's your time frame when you trade? Short term, medium term?
Yeah, I do.
Well, what candles
I do short-term trades, so I usually look between like the hour and the 4 hour, and then I'll check the daily like a few times a day, and then weekly once or twice a week, and then also keep an eye on like the CME futures chart, because not recently, but the gaps have always hit before.
All right, so tell our audience, right? So you're a full-time trader. You sit at home and you trade.
Yes.
Explain to some of the audience how trading is a full-time job. You can't really like this is probably killing you being here, right?
Yeah, this is like the first time I pretty much like left to do something semi-social since man, I don't know, like a few months at least. And yeah, with the 24/7 market, it kind of drives you to trade more because you have all these opportunities all the time. You know, it doesn't end.
So does it keep you from like sleeping sometimes if you're a short-term trader?
No, I always, whenever I
you got into a zone, you're patient.
I'll set up.
You have your
stops.
systems.
You know, I'll set up stops. I'll set up the places to take target, and I'll have like conditional orders to take care of a if this and that situation.
Where can you do conditional orders?
So,
what exchanges?
I don't really want to talk about what exchanges I use right now, but yeah, it's an option. So yeah, I try to set it up like so it's automated as much as possible, and then I'm just there in case something doesn't go according to plan. But,
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Another question for you. Oh man. Okay. So now that you've been a full-time trader for 2 years, how much is everything you do your own decisions or following other people?
Well, everything I learned about trading came from other people, like people that I would consider masters in the craft. So like Thomas Bulkowski is like where I studied a lot of the chart patterns. And then we have like the psychology side of it, you know, we have Mark Douglas. And then, so a lot of it came from the traditional markets, right? But then you just apply it to crypto, and then due to the volatility and 24-hour nature, the statistics are usually like a little more volatile. So if the pattern has like a 58% chance of hitting,
Right. No,
like
no,
it'll
my
be more
question is,
towards
at,
like
at some
65.
point, this is what I try to educate people. The reason why I teach people how to trade and don't have any chat groups of trade this and trade that is because the only way to succeed as a trader is after you've learned, you come up with your own system
style,
and your own strategy, and maybe you occasionally see what others have to say, but you never ever use that for execution. You have your own style and your own system that
then
works
you're
only
then
for
you're
you.
dependent on them. And
When did that happen
so,
for you?
After losing a lot of money by trying to follow like other people, you know. And then I figured I want to be like responsible for my wins and losses. Like I don't want to have to point the finger at anyone. And then I should also become like self-sufficient at it.
And it was much better.
So yeah. And it also takes it improves like yourself as well, knowing that like the responsibility lies fully on your shoulders. So
all right, very cool.
but yeah.
All right. Thanks a
So
lot. I
thank
want to
you,
grab
Tom.
Randy
Oh,
and get
go
a
for it.
Venezuela update. If you want to stick around. Yeah, Randy. Randy, have a seat, man. We're going to get an update on what is happening in the Venezuelan community. Have a seat, my man. Nope, other way, like normally.
What are you doing, guys?
Let's do a live streaming.
Hey! Woo!
Like,
Hello, people. Hola.
hello. Hey, everyone. We are on with Randy of the well, are you part of the Venezuelan community, or you try not to go there too often because of
Well, I'm the founder of
profiles.
Bitcoin2019, and
Excellent.
we do education and humanitarian aid in the country. So we've been doing humanitarian aid with only crypto donations since December 2015.
All right. So tell us more. What's the latest on Venezuela? You can't listen to any of the news reports. How bad is it? And what's going on? How badly is Dash making things worse out there? Like, what's going on?
Well, the situation with the humanitarian crisis is really bad, and it's going to get worse. So we work on the humanitarian aid that we do through donations only to help people there to get through the current situation there. We help feed right now 1,600 people daily, and we've been doing this since December 2015. And not only education, we also work on hardware and software for communications. So we are building our own mesh network devices and open source software. So people will be able to chat and transact in Bitcoin, even if there is no internet or electricity at all.
So what can people do? Like, what can people do from the U.S., from Europe? What can we do to help the people of Venezuela?
Well, we are currently getting some help on advisors and also in the open source code to make this possible to make a free and secure and private chat network on Mesh. But we are also getting help from people, direct help for the humanitarian aid. So we're getting donations on Bitcoin, Zcash, Monero, and people help us feed others in the country. And 100% of those donations go to people in medicines and food. So if people from outside wants to help the Venezuelan people, well, they can do it donating, they can do it with education, they can do it with software. We are doing open source software and adapting also the wallets and translating them into Spanish. We are doing all the stuff so people are capable of using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to survive in that situation.
What do you know about the mining infrastructure, the mining landscape of Bitcoin in Venezuela?
Well, the mining right now is mostly done by people who have money to afford it. But for people who cannot afford mining devices, they are doing freelancing. So if you want to help people in the country, hiring them, hiring all the professionals that are in the country for doing work and getting paid in Bitcoin is a good way to help them. Like giving them jobs for doing any kind of online work or advisor or whatever they can do through the internet and getting paid on Bitcoin is a good way to help the people of Venezuela too.
All right, awesome. Anything else you want to say to close out before we get into somebody else?
Yeah,
Wow, we got really loud music going on. Oh, sure.
really enjoying here the conference in San Francisco, the Bitcoin 2019 conference. So looking forward to be able to be part of the panel about Bitcoin in Venezuela tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. So I would like to share what's happening in Venezuela, what we are doing, and what people are doing to learn and use Bitcoin in the country.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You was walking away. Go on. I will be there for your presentation, 3:30, to give us an update on Venezuela.
Sure. Count on it.
Awesome. Randy, excellent seeing you again. We met in Mexico not that long ago at Talentland.
Yeah, exactly. Last month.
Yep. Awesome.
So-
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. See ya.
Sure. Want to say a few words? I know. They just started it too. How do we get them to turn it down? We gotta. I have two of the Mista right next to me, but like the music is like loud as hell, and it might be difficult to maintain a podcast. I have Peter McCormick right next to me too. I want to see if I can get him to get an update on the fake Satoshi law case, and I don't know why they're playing the music so loud. Hold on, guys. I'm also gonna get nailed for like copyright of the music and stuff. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, can you just grab me McCormick? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, my audience hears us just fine with the directional mics. So, but yeah, but I know it's loud. Have a seat.
Yo.
Hey guys, I couldn't get two of the Meester. It's way too loud, but I did get Peter McCormick.
What are we doing, man?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the latest on you. Hey, so, first question, like I'm going straight for the hard stuff. So I had a million tabs open as part of my Bitcoin law review.
Yeah.
And one of those tabs was your reply letter to fake Satoshi, and the tweet's gone. What happened?
I started using tweet delete. I just got so every like month, anything older than a month gets deleted.
Really?
Yeah.
You delete all your old tweets?
Yeah, so I saw somebody else did it, and it was Jeremy Welch, I think, and I was like, why do you do that? He's like, you don't need that old shit up there, because you can't remember what you tweeted or why. And I was like, oh yeah, so no, I auto delete my tweets now.
Dude, I don't know about that. I don't know about that practice.
Yeah, that was cool. It suits me. I don't want to worry about stuff I've written. Like, I've said a lot of stupid shit.
Dude, I love my stuff. I go back, like, I search for my tweets from 2 years ago, and I'm like, see you mofos, I was right.
Yeah, but like, I say so many stupid things that I don't want that up there. I don't want someone coming and go, oh, you said this. I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with it anymore.
All right,
like,
so
Twitter's instant.
that's true. That is actually true. All right, so how is What Bitcoin the podcast going?
Cool, man. I'm crushing it. It's going really well. So much support. Downloads are going through the roof. Every month is growing. All my apps are sold. Like, everyone's giving me so much support. I like love and thank you to everyone who helps me out.
Yeah, and you got into a lot of beefs with Bitcoin maximalists over being neutral. I never had a problem with it, but you and Giacomo, like kissed and made up. What's going on?
Well, I think what it is because I think like because the podcast has got quite high profile. I think people are like, you've got a responsibility now. If you cover this bullshit stuff, you might lead people the wrong way, and I kind of have to think about it. But I decided to go Bitcoin only anyway, and I've been thinking about it for a while because there's so much to focus on with Bitcoin itself. like, why the fuck should I distract myself with all this other bullshit? So yeah, but me and Giacomo, we're okay. He's less triggered by me now.
That's
I
good
love
to
you,
hear.
Giacomo.
Yeah, I think it was the Peter Rizin interview, right?
Yeah, well, Peter isn't, you know, I mean, I get it. I mean, gotta remember, I'm new around here. I'm not like 2013.
Well, you're new around here, but you got to talk shit in front of a bunch of bankers.
Yeah, man.
How was
The
that?
regulators.
The regulators, there you go.
Yeah, that was cool. I was with Brian Quinten. He's great. Brian's great. Brian's such a good dude. It's a really good time with him. The podcast went out today. Great feedback. I'm going to be interviewing Christopher Giancarlo soon, which will be cool. Looking forward to that. Yeah, man. How are you? What's going on with you?
I'm good. Hey, so your show is very, very popular now.
Yeah.
Who has been on your show more than once?
There's a few. I think he's been on 3 times. We've had Jameson not 3 times.
Wow.
And I've had Demis, I think, twice. Someone else has been on 3 times. I can't remember who it is. But like Jameson Lock's my boy. He was episode 3. I would have him anytime he wants to come on. But yeah, it's, I can't remember. There's someone been on 3 times. Someone else.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
And are you now a Bitcoin maximalist? Are you leaning in that direction, or what are you thinking? I know your views have changed over the years.
Like Bitcoin's the only one I own, and it's the only one I own for a reason. And I'm never going to sit there and say everything else is a scam, will always be a scam, will never work. Who knows? Stuff might work, might not.
But everything else should not be considered as a long-term hold.
No, and I wouldn't buy anything else now. I'm not a trader. You should only own something that's going to go up in value long term, and I think that's Bitcoin for me. I am very interested in Facebook Libra. I think that there's a lot of bullshit with it, but is it worse than the banks? Probably not. Probably actually better than the banks. Is it good for Bitcoin? It could be. I'm really intrigued by how Facebook Libra changes the game. Almost certainly, it brings more people into Bitcoin. So I think that's a good thing.
All right. What else is exciting you about the space?
I'm watching another podcast soon.
You're gonna watch another one?
Yeah, it's called Defiance.
You realize that now that you started traveling, you already have 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, man.
Traveling, moderating, speaking, and podcasting.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough.
Yeah. I find time, I hustle. But yeah, so the new podcast Defiance, it's going to be Bitcoin, human rights, freedom, censorship, sex workers, drugs, rock and roll.
Perfect.
Yeah, man.
Where is it? You're gonna do it on locations, or are you gonna? Is it still interviews?
Yeah, it'll be interviews. It'll be the same, but it'll be like on like broader topics that like Bitcoiners might be interested in, but outside of Bitcoin.
Yeah, back in the day, Bitcoin Uncensored would cover that stuff. I don't know. It might have been before your time.
Yeah, I had them on. You know I had Jim Seth and Chris DeRose on.
What's up?
Did you not see I had Chris DeRose and Jim Seth on?
How long ago?
Like, was that like 6 weeks ago?
Both of them together?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
We got the band back together. Yeah, I got them together in a hotel in Florida. We made a show. We did a Bitcoin.
Wait, they were in the room together, and everyone's alive.
Everyone's alive. We made a great show. They said their pieces. We recorded. They left. We're all good, man.
Wow.
I don't think they'll be friends again, but I think they enjoyed it. I think it was cathartic for them.
Wow.
It was useful for me. Yeah, it's cool.
Well,
man.
if you ever want to take that show on location, next time we're in some sketchy country together, we can hit the streets with some microphones.
Fucking do it. I'm in. I'm in. How's it going for you? How's everything with you?
Good. I've been traveling a lot. Just came back from New Hampshire, the Libertarian event. And from here, I'm gonna take the weekend off. Gonna go up to a lake, hang out with my old friends, and then I'm off to back to Europe. I'm gonna hit up Ukraine.
Right. What comes first? Bitcoin at 15K or Bitcoin at 5K?
If you said 14 and a half, I would have said 14 and a half. Actually, no, I'm sorry. 5K or 15K?
Yeah. What comes next?
Probably 15.
Right. 5 or 20?
Well, that doesn't matter. The question is what's the probability of going back to 5? I think that it's not zero. It's not zero.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's a little bit less than 50%. But the probability of going to the all-time highs, we both know, is eventually at 99%, right? So, but I do think Bitcoin will have, whatever at any given price, whatever, take 50% of any given price, and that always has a more than 50% chance. So right now, we're at 11 and a half. So divide, 11 by 2, and you get 5,500.
Right.
But it's still more than 5, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so therefore, anything greater than 50% off of the recent high has a higher chance than 20K.
All right. What comes next? New all-time high or 6K?
I'm gonna go with 6K.
You want to bet? Dinner?
I already have enough bets. Yeah, I can bet a dinner.
We'll
I
do
can
a
bet a dinner. I love these bets because if I lose, that means I can more than afford the dinner, right? Like these are the bets I like to lose. So I have a bet with Crypto Man Ran on the same thing, a dinner.
Yeah, I know.
It's $100 bet, which is about a dinner. You know, $100. I mean, I know you can eat, but I can eat too. But it's gonna be more than $100. But yeah, I'll do that. So 6 or 20. That's the bet.
Yeah, I'll take 20. What's going on with the hyperwave?
Nothing. Hyperwave's number one priority is to get you out of a bubble, which it did. Hyperwave's second priority is to tell you when the perfect bottom is, if it gets there. But if it doesn't get there, Hyperwave doesn't do anything. Hyperwave is telling you this: either we go to new all-time highs, or you buy in at 1,000.
Never going to 1,000.
You never know.
It would never ever see 1,000 ever again.
I'm really nervous with the current exponential rise. It's really making me nervous. It really is.
Okay,
I'm
man.
like I'm probably the one that's most nervous about this entire rooftop.
All right, man.
All right. Well,
Always good time.
looking forward to being again on the show one of these days.
You've been on the show.
Again.
Yeah, we'll have you on again.
One of these days. No
When
rush.
When Bitcoin hits 1,000.
Or 20.
Or 20.
Oh, when you win the bet. When one of us wins the bet, I want to be on the show.
We're recording in a steak restaurant.
Yeah, then we'll do that.
Right,
Perfect.
Good time.
Later. Naomi! It's Naomi Brockwell right away. I'm going to stand up and look for victims. Yes, how are you?
Ready for
Gary,
Bitcoin boom?
how are you? Yeah, why don't you have a seat and talk about it? We're
Sure.
live.
Sure. Oh, my.
You are.
Okay.
And we are on with Gary Leland, organizer of BitBlock Boom in Austin, Texas.
Dallas,
How are you?
Texas.
Dallas,
That's
I keep
okay.
calling
It's
it
close
Austin.
enough. It's close enough.
I always
It's
say
Texas.
Austin. Austin is like the only city in Texas that, like, oh, let me not piss off everybody in Austin and everyone in Texas. But it is in Dallas, Texas. I'm looking forward to being there.
No, we're gonna have a
It's
great
gonna be
time.
great. It's got a great lineup. I heard the last one was awesome. I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Well, I was glad you could make this one. You know, we have got a great lineup. You know, and the thing about it is, last year, Saifedean came up to me when it was over, and we were out just having fun. He goes, "This is the first conference in Texas I've ever been to that no one tried to show me a shitcoin."
Yeah.
And he goes, "This is a true Bitcoin maximalist conference."
Yeah.
And I said, "You know what? I'm running with that, and I'm going to turn this into a Bitcoin maximalist conference."
Oh yeah,
And
well
that's what I've done.
mine was the opposite. So when I opposite statement. So when not opposite statement, but like a converse statement. So when I did my conference in Vegas, Unconfiscatable, somebody came up to me and said, "Wow, this is the first conference I've ever attended where no one at the conference tried to sell me anything." Because there was like no sponsors, there was no vendors,
Well, I think,
there was nothing.
Yeah, no, I had some great plans. I plan on coming to that next year, just to let you know.
Oh, yeah, it
I
was
almost
awesome.
came this year, and it was a little hard for me
Oh
to
no,
work
it's
it
okay.
in. I think I saw it a little bit too late. Hey, can I tell people where to
Sure,
go to look?
of
Okay,
course.
this conference, if you go to bitblockboom.com.
I got something better for you.
What's that?
Cheers out. So if you're on tonebase.com calendar and you go to August, it's right there.
Oh, cool.
It's on my public calendar. All you gotta do is click it and go right to the website.
Well, you're doing something, though, on Friday, I believe, right?
What Friday? Oh
On
yeah.
Bitblock Boom, you're doing, you're
I'm
doing
teaching
something.
my trading workshop.
And if you go to calendar, schedule, I put your
right there.
workshop on the schedule.
Oh, beautiful.
So if people come to this, they'll see your schedule,
Yeah, right there.
and it'll go straight to it for them.
Perfect. Tone-based workshop.
Yeah.
It's right there. Check that
So
out.
they can see it there and come to it.
Yeah, but here are the speakers, guys. Wow, I'm in the first slot. I don't know if I deserve that.
No,
Oh,
you were like one of the last ones that kind of filled up in order. You were like one of the last ones that I got to confirm for.
Sorry, Jimmy.
So
and
that got you
Saifedean.
number one.
Jimmy, Saifedean, Pierre. Great lineup, man. Goldstein. It's looking really, really good, man. Really
and I was
good.
going to
There
MC.
you
I was
are.
going to MC it, but I'm not. Now Peter's going to MC it, so I'm pulling mine
Ah,
off
Peter,
Monday.
yeah, you were just sitting in your seat right
Peter's
there.
going to be the MC for the event next year.
Hey,
Hey!
looking forward to it.
First time I
Hey,
ever met you, Jimmy. Yeah, I
Are
was
you
telling someone
serious?
the other day. We're not in person.
you guys live close to each other.
I told Jimmy, I said, you've been on the show more than anyone, 4 or 5 times, and you probably wouldn't know me if you saw me.
Wait, what was
Now
the last time I was on the show? It's been a while.
Too long ago. How's that? We're going to get you back on the show real soon.
Pitch the show.
Well, it's Crypto Cousins Podcast, CryptoCousins.com, and hell, it used to be a crypto show when I started, but now it's pretty much a Bitcoin Maxwell show. Only people I have on there, people with
Bitcoin brothers now.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
But now it's become a Bitcoin show. It's not a crypto show, really.
Isn't it amazing how many, once you become a content creator and you actually have to be responsible, how quickly you turn into a Bitcoin maximalist? Because if you start promoting any other crap, instantly you lose credibility.
Well, and I had someone today, or last night at that steak dinner. I was saying, I think the show's improved a lot. And he goes, oh, what the hell on? You're talking about Bitcoin now. But when you start a show, when you first get into this, and if you start a show like I did, you don't know a lot yet. So you're going for crypto, and you're trying to learn, and as you learn, all of a sudden you realize it's not blockchain, it's Bitcoin. It's not crypto, it's Bitcoin. You realize that after a while, after you talk to enough people.
Bitcoin brothers. I think you have a new name.
I think I need to find that real quick and get that going. I like that, Jimmy. I like that a lot.
Hey, Jimmy, look at the food line, man.
I know. Right?
How do we make people eat once a day for health reasons?
We show them our bodies, like on Instagram.
So I take my shirt off and start dancing around here.
I think that would work. I would pay to watch that. I will give you $20 right now if you take off your shirt.
I'll pitch in 20.
Yeah,
we got $40 in the
$40
pool.
for Tone to take off his shirt on live air and dance on the table.
Yes, $40.
$40.
Come on, we're pitching it out here, dude.
If only my dancing skills were better.
All right. Maybe we could do it on we need to work on your Instagram account.
I know we do. I would actually love to take my shirt off and work on my tan around here. I can't believe how.
And you're wearing black. What the hell, man?
Hey, dude, do you know how cold it was around here yesterday?
It was cold. I was here.
I don't remember. I just went straight to the blockchain.
It was cold yesterday.
I didn't really realize.
All right, Gary.
I'm out of here.
Thanks again. We're gonna find another victim.
I need both of you guys. I'm telling you right now, within the next 2 weeks, please send me the name of your talk in a 1-sentence description.
Oh, I thought we already did that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I got
What
you.
do I discuss that with then?
No, I don't think it was me. Well, look at. I don't
Oh,
think
no, we're all
It's
set.
another conference or something.
I'm making a new presentation.
Oh yeah,
for you guys.
yeah. And I want the Bitcoin one.
Oh yeah.
It's
Gonna happen.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
You're right. I'm sorry. We did have that conversation.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I need yours in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll try.
Not a hard chat, but I like it.
Okay, all right. We'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about yet.
Is that Larry Cermak?
I don't know who that is. Jeff something.
No, he's way taller than that. I gotta get Anna. Let's get interesting people in here.
I try to get other people, but they were like, we want to eat. Yeah.
Anna!
Yeah. Who's Anna?
Anna, the girl. Yeah. You want to come on? You want to come on a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, and we are on with the lovely Anna, who I run into. Like, if there's anyone in the world that attends as many conferences in the crypto space as me, it is the lovely Anna. And please tell us why.
Hello, because I adore Bitcoin conferences, and I meet as well you at almost every conference. Yeah.
So how are you? How did you came out to San Francisco? You are based out of Ukraine?
Yes, but I haven't.
But you're never there.
I have never been. I haven't been in Ukraine since 21st May.
Oh, dinner's been great, man. What's your name again? Sorry.
No, we saw you on the way to the steakhouse.
All right, you know we're live right now, right?
Oh shit!
Come on, tell us who you are, where you're from.
Okay,
and
so
then we'll finish up with
hello. This is Firdaus, straight from San Francisco. Ran into this guy yesterday on the way to the Prime
Did
Rib House.
you guys get a table there?
So they told us that the waiting is like 1 hour. So we're like, you know what? We're gonna sit at the bar and wait until there's a table.
Perfect. Did you get
10
a
minutes
steak?
later, they're like, oh, there's a table for you. Come join.
How good was the steak?
It was the best steak in the world. I'm not
excellent.
eating anything today.
I'm not telling you guys where it is because I'm probably gonna try to get there today. Thanks, man. All right, I'm sorry, Anna. So you are in Ukraine, but you're never there.
Yes.
So
We
tell
met
us-
last time in Malta. After that, I
We
was...
did meet last time in Malta,
Yes.
and before that, we were in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Bitcoin scene in Ukraine.
Actually,
What's it like?
Bitcoin City. Oh, what?
Well, are you going to be going there for BIP001 in Odessa next week?
Me now.
No.
Are you going
I
there?
am going. So I'm attending events in your country, but while you're attending events in ours.
Yeah, I moved a little bit to US for a couple of weeks.
Oh, so you're going to be staying in the U.S.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you up to these days?
Actually, he has a conference as well, just enjoying life here.
And networking.
Yeah, working remotely.
Are you still doing content as well? Because we met because you interviewed me at a conference in Ukraine about a year ago.
Yeah, we have media, Conf Telegram. Yeah, and so mostly for now I do PR and marketing for other companies.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're doing PR.
Yes.
All right, very cool.
Not only for our channel.
And which channel is it?
For Forbes, Reuters, CCN.
So you're doing PR for all of those
Cointelegraph.
channels
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Cointelegraph.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say? How are you enjoying San Francisco? This is your first time.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
And are you going to stay in San Francisco or are you going to head off to somewhere else in the U.S.?
I will stay here probably for 1 week.
For a week.
Yeah, then I maybe go to New York. I just come from there.
We just came from New York.
Yeah.
What was going on in New York? I wasn't there. I was in New Hampshire. I was God knows where. I flew in from Europe and I went straight to New Hampshire and then I came here.
Mostly just visiting, but as well I went to some meetups in New York Blockchain Center. And as well I went to trading conference. But blockchain conference are really better.
All right, very cool. All right, well, thank you so much for coming on. And are you going back to New York?
Someday, yes.
Oh,
Nice
yeah.
to see you.
Oh, you have Cointelegraph there.
Telegram.
Oh, Cointelegram. I was looking at it from the side. Okay, yeah. So I'll be back in New York for like 2 days, and then I fly out again. I know that's the life. I know that's the life. I'll be in your home country. All right, let's do it. We have Samson. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Is this your show?
It is my show. We got Samson on. All right, grab a seat.
Let's
Grab
make
a seat.
photo. Let's make photo.
Oh, you want to do a photo? Hey, I got to do a photo op.
She wants a selfie.
Let's do it. Oh.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Samson, have a seat, buddy. Yeah, you're going on. Vortex, you want to join? Yeah, we can fit. Slide this back.
All right, so Vortex and Samson right here.
Yep, have a seat, guys. Vortex sit next to me. Oh, no, Samson sit next to me. Vortex will put you on the other side of Samson.
Okay.
Boom.
Nice hat.
Slide over. No, you guys good. Slide over.
Slide down towards the middle.
Perfect. There we go. And we are set. A little tight.
We can get closer.
Boom. Yeah, where's Anna? All right. We are on with Samson. Thank you so much for the hat.
You're welcome.
Man, one of my trollish tweets, right? I was in Milan hanging out with Giacomo, and we're walking around, and I see the giant AXA building.
Yeah.
And I'm like pointing to the building. They took a picture, and then I sent out a tweet. I sent a tweet. I'm like, I'm here on a blockchain secret mission.
I remember that one. That was a great.
And I really wish I was one. You know how many people took that seriously? It was hilarious.
But they always take it seriously. That's why it's fun.
So that's what's going on. So off of Magical Crypto,
Yeah.
the conference seemed like a huge success.
Thank you.
You guys had fun.
It was nothing compared to what was that one in Malta?
Which one? The one that I did?
Yeah.
With your boss, Understanding Bitcoin, right there.
I heard that one was the bomb.
Yeah, but it was only like 100 people in the audience. You guys had like a giant, like a live bull in yours. Jesus Christ. Hey,
did you guys have?
Hey, the most important question. How did you like the Coin Jazeera article about it being a furry convention? Did you read it?
Yes.
No.
Those guys were there.
Did you read the article? That's the best article ever. It was like the furry convention takes the spotlight over consensus.
Man, I missed that. You gotta send that to me, Tone.
I was mentioning that article.
How many attendees did you guys have over there for Magic Crypto?
800.
800. That's awesome.
Next year we're gonna do 2,000.
Wow, that's about what these guys tried to do this conference this year. Bitcoin 2019 said that I was talking into it a little bit.
You know what? Yeah, just
Bitcoin 2019 said that they were actually shooting for 2,000 attendees this conference. So if you guys can get 2,000 next year, that will be awesome competition.
So hey, so is it next year, or are you gonna try to do Singapore following? Are you gonna just pick it front run consensus all around the world?
Yes.
Are they doing one in Singapore this year?
Yeah, I think it's in September.
Okay. We're thinking of Singapore, but maybe it'll be September-ish.
Yeah.
Is that when they're doing it?
September in Singapore this year, though.
Okay, we're not doing this year.
Okay, you're not doing
this year.
Okay.
Too tight. This year's too tight.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Understanding Bitcoin next year after consensus in Malta for the better weather. All right.
Okay.
So here comes the Tone Vase is an idiot part, right? So I boycotted your conference, kinda, because I didn't like the idea of a Bitcoin maximalist conference organized by shitcoiners, and no one followed my lead, and all the Bitcoin maximalists came.
Yeah.
So on a scale of on a scale of Roger Ver to Seyfedin, how dumb is my Bitcoin maximalism at that point?
You're pretty close to the Roger Ver level. But I won't boycott your conference. Don't worry. We're good.
In hindsight, that might have been a mistake.
Every single Bitcoin maximalist was there.
Yeah, I know, except me. I'm like,
You see, a lot of the shitcoiners for MCC, they like Bitcoin too, right? It's just like you got to be more tolerant. It's like bisexual.
Yeah, exactly.
They like their coin and Bitcoin.
Right. Milk the furry scene. That's excellent. Yeah. So what's going on? What's the latest? What are you guys up to over at Blockstream? And what is your role at Blockstream exactly?
Supposed to tweet stuff. I guess.
Steering the ship.
Well, strategy, but I'm in charge of product, business, and marketing.
All right. So when are you guys gonna start actually promoting the liquid sidechain for people to build their shitcoins on top of it?
You can do that already.
Yeah, I know, but no one is